Have you ever felt my lips? This episode is called Lucky Lips, and we are the Twist Boys. I'm Aaron Twist, joined by my good sibling, Gabriel Twist.
Yep. My lips, my lucky twisty lips.
This was a lot, this episode.
Yeah, I feel like for itself, it was a lot. I feel like, over the years, I feel like I'd made it, it's easy to focus on kind of like one element of this episode, but I feel like it also suffers from that thing of like not having enough time to tell the story it's telling. Because there are just bits in this that kind of go nowhere. Like they at least sort of stick to the main thing and do largely kind of nail that. But like, I remember like the him being molested element as being a much bigger part than I think it was. Although when you think about it, that's a lot of molestation for like a kid's show.
Just a tad.
It's just weird. It's not that you could get away with more stuff. You could just get away with different stuff. And I think some of that change has been very fucking weird. It's a simpler time. So yeah, my first note was just, whew, there's going to be one. Because it starts out with like fucking Pete, like because I actually like the title cards. The title card for this is like some fucking, Snow White level mirror. This black ornate thing that if somebody had in their house, I'd be immediately suspicious of. And he applies the magic lipstick, and then, his head spins around because that symbolizes madness. And that's Lucky Lips. And yeah, it was kind of weird. It reminded me a little bit of that sequence in what was it? What's that one where the girl goes to the place full of midgets by riding a house? Wizard of Oz. Reminds me of Wizard of Oz too. And there's this hallway of like screaming heads in like mirrors, and they're all like detached.
I don't like the Wizard of Oz too.
No child does.
It's just
you have to grow into it.
Not right.
It really isn't. Apparently the books get weirder and weirder, so I've been meaning to like get around to reading them.
Interesting.
Yeah.
This opens after the title card with Pete in his room, longingly gazing at his poster of Zan.
You know what's funny? Because we've brought up Horny Pete and like Horny Dad a lot, and I didn't think that was going to really go anywhere,
Yeah.
But this is actually like, yeah, we get some resolution on Horny Pete. Because like the harp is playing, and I don't know exactly, because I feel like the harp is meant to symbolize a kind of innocent love, whereas the saxophone is for horny groin love. And even though this is about basically like trying to brain molest women into touching you, it's just like a little kiss on the lips. It's not like, I mean, my first thought is what happens if I apply it to my wiener? But
yeah.
I'm also in my 30s, so...
And, yeah, you're not in charge of a G-rated television show.
No, I'm allowed to think about what would happen if I put, like, magic kissing lipstick on my dick.
Yeah.
Like, that's...
We get round the twist, the porn parody.
I hope that's not real.
Oh, God, I never even thought to look it up till now.
But, like...
Why would I?
He's having a fantasy, and I kind of love, because, holy fuck, whenever a kid's show... And there's been a few... would try to like cover this shit, there'd always be some fantasy element because they're trying to like, that's what they're trying to express is like, at some point you're going to be thinking about this. And the fantasies are always the funniest shit. Like Fiona's on a motorcycle.
Zan.
Is that no?
Is it Zan?
No, he's looking at the Zan poster, but he's thinking about Fiona.
Okay.
I know, because like Zan's on the fucking motorcycle, but then he's like,
that confused me. Okay.
Yeah, no, it's definitely Fiona. And it's like, all right, she's on a motorcycle. It's like, all right, she's in an alley. It's like, all right, I get all this. Pete's a cowboy.
Not just any cowboy. He is the Milky Bar Kid.
Yeah.
Like, he's got the full cow print.
It wasn't rugged cowboy.
No.
Yeah.
It was Milky Bar Kid cowboy. Like, I can't get over it,
Yeah, because you shouted Milky Bar Kid, and it was just like, yep, there it is. Ding. Blonde, blue eyes, cowboy outfit. Supple 13-year-old buttocks that I've seen far too much of. The milky bars are on me.
Oh, God.
And that's the thing, like, that's that's a G-rated attempt at expressing like a fucking teenager's sexual fantasy.
Yeah. I get that they put him in the cowboy outfit to symbolize, hey, it's a dream, you know, it's not real, but also the screen warble is enough to put him in the dream sequence to start with.
Well, again, I feel like the cowboy outfit's supposed to be representative of something, maybe, or like
It's
I don't know.
Are they calling cowboys versions?
Sure, why not? I mean,
you heard that, Texas?
Or is it supposed to be the other way around? Like,
I don't know.
Like, why not pirate? Or why not? Because, like, later on, he's in, like, a fucking Guns N' Roses denim affair. And it's like, okay, that kind of fits with the general, you know.
I feel like he should have been in the alley.
Yeah. Because that would make fucking sense. That would make some approximation of fucking sense.
I've never seen anything about Pete that suggests, hey, I want to be a cowboy.
No. I mean, if he was wearing just the chaps,
yeah,
it's like, all right,
yeah,
you know.
And still a bit weird. The best part of the cowboy outfit was the hat wasn't a cowboy hat. It was like one of those black felt ones. It's in the style of a hat, those hats, but it's not. It's not even like an authentic cowboy hat. It was like
a top hat transitioned to cowboy.
Yeah,
good for it.
a cowboy hat, if you will.
Then Linda busts into the room to give him some shit. And to be fair, he has this coming, and Linda also has this, you know, this is her time to fucking get a bit of revenge for the general bullshit she's been copping.
She finds a Dolly magazine and she accuses Pete. She asks him if he has bought it.
Yeah, Dolly, for those who are not of our generation or country, is kind of like teen, like Cosmopolitan in Australia. It did used to have hilarious, like, because I remember now my friend in high school had a little, when I was in like year 9 and 10, I had a little sister who got Dolly magazines. And yeah, you'd grab them and flip to the fucking like letters section, because before the internet and, you know, just being able to go to like Yahoo Answers and get terrible, terrible advice, you had to write into publications and get terrible, terrible advice. And like, because like people make fun of like, you know, when men write women, and there's, you know, there is some validity to that. I will say that there's like certain elements, like if it's a horny book, shut up. Because it's like that's the point. Like yeah, of course it is. If you're trying to sensibly write a proper female character and completely fuck it up and turn her into a tit goblin for your bizarre fantasies, yeah, that's a problem. But like, Lord Almighty, if you've ever read the like advice, like if men read and then bothered to read the things that women wrote, there'd be an equal level of complaint. Because if you ever read the fucking advice in a Cosmo, it is the worst advice written by a mutant that's never seen a male. And it's like, you know, and I don't know whether it's doing it because they've just run out of sensible advice, or if they're a lunatic, or if they're just doing it for fun. Because if you're doing that for fun, that's hilarious.
The writer probably gets paid so little they just don't care.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of. I assume it still exists. Like, I'm guessing there's probably podcasts or something.
They probably moved on to like doing them just. Come on, mate. Come on. Trying to make art here.
It's like, to be fair, I get the need to get advice from someone that's not your weird, horny, sculpted dad.
He as we've learned, Pete is following in his horny footsteps, and
just dads in general. I don't think that like the last couple of generations have produced useful dads when it comes to meaningful advice.
Not really.
In this, because I think of my dad and I'm like, nah, that's a fucking dry well. I'm not going there. And I think of your dad and I think that would be probably just the worst advice in the world.
Yes, 100%. You are correct in both those statements.
just like, fuck. Yeah, I'm thinking of almost every dad I can remember, and it's like, yeah, none of this is good.
No,
like you're gonna get barely any answers. You're gonna get either a lot of like circumspect talk, and the direct answers you're gonna get are gonna be the worst.
Yeah,
know? Like your dad will be direct, and it will be like, no, that's sexual assault. And he'll be like, oh, you know, stuff's changed. He'll be like, no, it was still that in the 70s. Like, like, oh, this fucking imagine like the ammo you'd have finding your sad, horny brother's letter to like the Dolly magazine girl, like
Oh, you'd be set
Trying
for
to-
weeks.
Oh man, a buddy of mine found a fucking like a Yelp review or something for the restaurant that his brother works at about him. That
Ooh.
burns him hard. Like this.
What did it say?
Like it was really like the food was okay, blah blah, and then just 2 paragraphs on how the guy serving them was just kind of a sad tool who thought he was too good to be there. Like
Wow.
absolute majesty. And I'm like, that's because like the idea of like your sister finding the letter you wrote to Dolly, a lot of stuff that would never happen has to happen for that to work.
Yeah.
You know, like, because she didn't just buy it herself. Like, Pete's obviously bought it and is like gone looking for his fucking advice. But like, you know, that's a symphony of nonsense. Finding like this is going to happen. Like, if your brother works at a restaurant and there's lots of Yelp reviews, there's a chance one of them goes, oh, yeah, by the way, there was this guy here. Like, that would be something that would come up.
Yeah.
And yeah, so like, and I just remember messaging back. It's like, that's a level of zing that like just prior generations would never have for their fucking relatives.
No.
So like, you know, here fucking Around the Twist gets to like fantasize about it, you know?
Yeah.
To be fair to Pete, he just fucking rides this wave of abuse with a kind of stoicism that I was impressed by. You know,
He's
like
horny.
I suppose.
He
Or
just-
sad. It's one of the two.
Both
Yeah.
horny and sad. And, you know, Linda's not helping any at all.
She isn't meant to, you know? Like
I
again,
know.
like, this is her
But
moment.
that's why he's tuned out. That's why he's mute.
Yeah.
Because he's just like, well,
Because like that, like really, there's a lesson, you know, for Linda here, where it's just like next time Pete's making fun of you for like being horny for that guy, just shut up, and it'll, you know, eventually it'll go away.
so the column gives him, she reads out the column's advice and they give him 5 steps to
Ask her to a disco.
kiss a girl because he's never been kissed. She says PT, for initials for Pete Twist, in Port Miranda. And to which Pete says there's probably lots of PTs in Port Miranda.
I think it's not the first time we've found what the place is called too. 'Cause
I think
I wrote
so.
down Port Miranda, and it's like
Is it Noranda or Miranda?
N for nutsack.
Right. So that's interesting that we find out.
Yeah, like it may have been mentioned before. I could maybe think of like Dad Gribble like saying it in passing.
Possibly, yeah.
But yeah.
And the 5 steps were take her to a disco,
Whew.
dance wildly for an hour, then dance slowly for the next hour, walk her home, and then I missed the 5th one. I think it was
Question marks.
it was
Slip a digit.
it was if she says okay, I think.
If her eyes say yes, I remember that.
Yeah, then
Is
kiss
that
her.
like active consent? I don't know.
No. Well, her eyes said yes.
No, because like women don't like doing that active consent stuff a lot. Because like I grief
What's
them.
active consent?
Well, like it's
when
the
they
thing now where
say-
they have to like, yeah, like, well, you know, to make sure it's not like accidental rape. Because
Right.
being like a 6 foot tall man, apparently I can just like, you know, stun people into mating with me on fear alone, which I wasn't aware of. But like,
Fuck, I haven't been getting laid for years.
I know. you should just go out and frown at some girl. I don't know.
Just
But like, because like I grief women about this because like they don't, you know, they'll just hit me or look at me like I'm supposed to figure this shit out. And like these are girls that I'm, you know, dating at the time, and so it's just like use your words and they go. And the best part is you can throw that shit back like that fucking active shit back in their face, and they'll be angry at you for being right, and then angry at themselves for like wanting the thing that's wrong, and then they're furious at you, and the sex is just so much better.
Interesting.
I'm a good person.
I had a sex in a box once. Cardboard box. It was a TV box.
While you were being shipped.
Yeah, we were going to across the Atlantic in a boat.
Like,
That would be the worst.
I say yes. How about you just say yes?
Yes.
Or better yet, and you know what? Like, it'll come up later, but like, credit to Fiona. You know, she actually just fucking kisses him at the end of the episode.
Spoiler, wow.
Yeah. I can't believe I've ruined this 30-year-old television show.
How dare you?
How dare I?
After this, we go to said disco. Now, this was my issue with the episode. We jumped hard and often.
Yeah, because again, they're having to do a lot of work. I feel like they could have skipped a fair bit of it. Like, because we've established Peter's turbo horny for Fiona. We know that.
Yep.
We're paying attention. I mean, I will say, like, the disco, Tiger's the DJ, which makes perfect sense.
Yeah.
The music sounds exactly like, well, not exactly, but very close to music you'd hear in Lisa, the Pain RPG. Because there's a bit where you go to a gym and like the music is just dun 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 dun, and then every now and then a guy going, huh! And that's basically the fucking extent of like Tiger's creepily aggressive man grunt dance remix.
Yeah.
Because it's not like the grunts you hear in any music. It's just like, it sounds like fucking Tiger just recorded like his dad trying to get up out of a couch. And that's just like, that's going in there.
So I wrote down Tiger is the DJ. There was mention of Hugh Townsend.
Yeah.
And also then Hugh shows up and asks Linda to dance.
Well, yeah, so Gribble first tries hitting on Linda.
Oh, yeah, that's
with
right.
with the amazing line, "G'day, desperate."
Yeah. Fun fact, women don't like being called desperate.
Like, not right off the bat like that.
No.
Like, that's just... Sup, ugly?
Hey, shitface.
God, you know that there's some fucking incel forum that would recommend that as like, yeah, you gotta make them feel bad about yourselves because
be really mean. Just zero in on their insecurities.
I know. Thank God. And but then because like Townsend's there, and then he like immediately swishes in to like sweep Linda off her feet.
Now this is where I turned to you and said, "How old is this kid?"
I don't think he's a student at the school exactly, and I don't think that's okay.
Because he was like, previously he was made to be like out to be like an actor or something.
Yeah. Like we first met him in the dream dimension on the train. Like I thought he was made up or lived in a magazine or some shit like that. And now he's just in the show. And that's a weird barrier.
It's concerning that this older young adult is just sweeping into, school discos and just taking kids.
Because, like, I mean, look, high school being high school, it can happen that you get some, like, slightly odd age differences on paper. Like, you can kind of wind up. Because if you think about, like, 16 and, like, 14, like, 14 feels young, but if you're 16, it's just like, it's like a lot of countries will usually have some, like, weird little variable where, like, there's the age of consent, but then it's different if the, both parties are under 18.
So yeah, Hugh was getting it on with Linda.
Yeah, and again, I still think he's like a teacher's aide or something, or like a groundskeeper's assistant, and I don't know if that's...
I think he just walks into the school whenever he wants. He's Hugh Townsend.
Yeah, like he'll be one of those dudes that like goes to school this week. Or like spring break for the foreigners.
Even though he's finished school for 3 years.
No, like there are like fucking 40-year-olds that go there, man.
That's fucked. They're kids. Like, when I'm 40, I do not want to talk to 17-year-olds.
You know what the worst part is, though, is again, because like you hear this a lot where it's like, oh, it's predatory and stuff. And it's like, I do agree with that, about 90%. The problem is I also know women who like old dudes and have since they were young.
Yeah.
And it's like, there are these weird, wild variables floating around out there. Because like one of my ex-girlfriends, like, boinked her English teacher 2 years out of high school. And he was like, in like his fucking late 30s. And, by that stage, she was like 19. And so, I'm like, God, you little tart. And she was like, yeah, kind of like, it's pretty aggressive. And just like, yeah, you fucking, and I'm like, you see, because like, and again, earlier in the day, it's like you're complaining about something some, dumb girl's doing on Twitter or something. And it's like, you got to understand, one day you might be that variable, like, because again, like I know these girls that find like Liam Neeson attractive. And to me, that guy looks like a foreskin stretched over a mannequin. So, I don't know, Maybe Linda's just one of those girls, likes a bit older.
Liam?
I mean, I still think you're not allowed to lurk at a high school.
I
I feel like that's just the line. Like, if some girl who's 18 hits on you at the shopping center or something, fine. But
dude,
you're not
Liam
allowed to
Neeson is fascinating because you know what his next life cycle is? He turns into Bill Nye. Like that's an old, like, you can see it in the face.
That's
That's his next evolution.
I feel like he'll be able to complete 2 movies after he's died. Like, people just won't
100%. They'll give it will be his foreskin face.
Yeah.
Like, it will come off his bones and keep acting. It will just be a skin.
Or like, a crafty director just like hooks him up to a leaf blower. Gets the skin to flop around, makes it look like he's talking.
Weekend at Bernie's this.
Yeah, they do that Taken 4 editing shit. There he is. Look. It's
fine.
It's Liam Neeson getting a glass of water. Sure, there's 14 cuts. Don't worry about it.
So at the disco, Pete is dancing with Linda. He's gone with Linda. Pete is dancing with Fiona.
Yeah.
He's gone with Fiona. So that's like
that's progress.
That's
like,
progress.
you don't need to be such a, like, if you're it's that same thing with the fucking weirdo incels is like, some of them are like legitimately attractive teenagers.
Yeah.
Like that fucking one that went on the shooting spree. It's like, I've seen uglier guys than that clean up. It's like, if your personality wasn't an actual plague, you'd be doing fine.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know why you fucking, like, he's there at the fucking disco with the fucking girl. Like, maybe just let's not panic. Like, it's not like you're sitting in the corner where they put the ugly children in most Australian
Although
schools.
I think he should panic after, like, because the wild dancing was wild.
It was a bit much.
It was a lot.
Yeah.
I wouldn't call it dancing exactly. More as flailing. But the tiger switches it up and they go to the slow dance. At this point,
it sounded like an Echo and the Bunnymen knockoff song, and the phrase "it's now or never" kept repeating.
Yeah, which was weird.
I mean, that's a heck of a great troll for a fucking blue light disco. Like,
Pete had his arms around Fiona and he had the 5 steps written on his hand. He's looking at it over her shoulder as he's got his arms around her. And that is so fucking sad that you can't remember 5 steps.
5 things.
When 2 of those steps are the same thing, just one's slower and one's faster.
Yeah, and also you've already done 3.
Yeah.
Like, you've asked her to the disco. She's gone with you. Like, already, like, again, that's like a big part of it there.
Yeah.
You're fucking slow dancing with her at a goddamn thing. Just maybe, like, let's just see where this goes naturally. You don't need to have a fucking plan written on your goddamn hand, And then we get, like, what I'd consider, as a studied educator, an inappropriate teacher-student interaction. And one of a surprising amount in this episode.
Yeah. Because we see Miss James, we see Faye over there dancing with Mr. Snapper. Now, we originally said, what was it? Bumhope?
Stanhope.
Stanhope. And the
Which
reason
sounds
we
like,
said Stanhope is, and we went back to the episode where he's first introduced. And
tip 1.
Yeah. The reason that we said that is because that's what the subtitles say.
And it makes sense.
But if you just close your eyes and turn off the subtitles, don't look at them, you can hear them say Snapper.
It's Mr. Snapper.
So it's Snapper.
It's on the wiki. It's definitely, it has and always has been Mr. Snapper.
Yes.
It says they said Mr. Snapper, and we were looking at the word Stanhope.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh yeah, a droning chorus of children.
So he's dancing with Faye, and Pete looks over him and gives him a nod, and to which Snapper winks at him.
I know.
And it's not like a wink, like I'm winking at you. It's this. Look at me. And it's just like, you kind of ease your shoulder back first and then go like,
no, yeah.
it's a very suggestive.
It's not a you're doing well, you should have confidence wink. It's a I'm getting fucked tonight wink.
Yeah. You feel me?
Yeah. Which is, that's not an appropriate wink. like
To
to be
which,
giving
you know,
a pair of 13-year-olds. I mean, man, like when I was in high school, they'd pitch a hissy fit if like fucking teens were too close and like canoodling and shit.
Yeah.
Like that was a thing. Like you weren't like they always go at daylight. I mean, to be fair, I went to a public school, so like, you know, people would be fingering each other and shit if you weren't paying attention.
Just as soon as you turned around, you're writing math on the board, you turn back around. God damn it, kids.
Don't even turn around. You just go, stop fingering.
Billy, finger out of Jenna now. So Pete kind of takes this and then it's like, oh, okay. And then it goes back to him again and he's getting more into it. It just keeps coming.
Just like Snapper. We smash cut because this episode's edited by Madman to Pete walking Fiona home. And I mean, look, anything to get away from that fucking Mr. Snapper interaction. And Rabbit, Tiger, and Gribble are stalking them home. And like, on the one hand, that's fucking deranged. But also on the other, the internet wasn't very good in like 1990 or exist.
Yeah.
So, you know, you have to watch people fuck up and get ammo to bully them the next day in a very manual fucking fashion. And, I mean, you know, Gribble looks like a freckle grew pubes, so it's not like he's going to get any. Rabbit, I can see being oblivious, but, like, also attractive to some girls. Tiger, I think, is completely asexual. I think he has goals and desires.
Tiger, I think, turned out to be Noodles from The Offspring.
I feel like he's...
No, wait, Dexter. That's the singer. Yeah, Dexter.
I feel like he was... If the Joker wasn't like a villain.
I can say that, yeah.
Like, because the Joker just has so much stuff to do. Like, and he also completely ignores Harley in, like, the early, you know, the animated series and stuff. I know they say that they fuck, but I just 100% don't believe that. Whereas, like, I just don't think it ever occurs to Tiger to be horny. He's got, like, that just Ryu focus, but on things that aren't to do with, like, mostly human pursuits.
They're introduced into the scene by Spider, which is very funny.
To be fair.
And also very true.
Yeah, like.
That is me a lot of the time if I'm outside in the dark.
Yeah, because like there's these things called orb weavers, and they're the stupidest goddamn thing in the world. Because there are plenty of spaces where spiders can build their webs where like a fucking titan won't march through and destroy them, and yet
every time,
the golden orb weaver secretes an incredibly thick and sticky form of web, and B, head height. It's like they're trying to catch heads. And so you will walk through these things.
Maybe they're trying to climb into our heads and pilot us.
Something I wish I hadn't considered.
Yeah.
And like, yeah, you will like, when I was living in Ashgrove, people like walking home and just, it got to the point where I'd be walking just on the road because it was the only way to reliably not walk through some horrible fat-assed goddamn thing's house. And they're a very big web spider as well. Like, the bigger spiders tend not to be web spiders. They're like your tarantulas, your fucking huntsmen. They're active hunters, you know. Some of them, like, spin, like, kind of a web, but it's just, like, wallpaper for their weird fucking ass house that they live in the ground.
Yeah.
But, like, the orb weaver builds a big fucking web, and they can be fucking big. And their bites are unpleasant, I'm told. I've never been bit by one. I had one on me once, and you can tell the difference between a spider on you and some other thing like a cockroach or something because a spider's steps are incredibly slow and horrifyingly deliberate.
Mm-hmm.
It's not like just feet going anywhere with like a fucking insect or some shit.
Now, Pete asks if we can walk Fiona. He said, I'll walk you to the front door.
Yeah.
And she says, okay. They get to the front door and he's like, oh, it's happening. I'm ready. And she's like, oh, I had a good time tonight. And me too. And he puckers up, ready for a kiss.
She shuts the door in his face.
Shuts the door in the face.
I mean, at a certain point, Fiona, what are we doing here? You know?
Yeah.
Like, shit or get off the pot. Like, I understand if you don't want to fucking kiss Pete, that's fine. But, like, you know, let's make a decision here. And I don't need to be kissing doors.
The boys see this, and of course, they make fun of this, and they call him a splinter male.
Yeah, I'm not sure if
I Googled that, and I couldn't find shit.
Like, I mean, maybe it's got something to do with he kissed wood, but also I'm not 100% sure we didn't mishear it. And like,
Maybe
I don't think the fucking AI that writes the subtitles is very accurate.
I don't think the Guatemalan child they've got chained up in a basement writes it very accurately.
And so, you know, because there's a nice logical flow to this episode, the next shot is Pete at like a fucking carnival looking at his face in a funhouse mirror.
Yeah, this confused me because I was just like, oh, well, Pete's walking through a carnival now.
Yeah.
Because it wasn't set up. The carnival was...
There was no mention of it.
Settling, yeah, no mention, and then in the middle of setting it up.
Like, it could have, you know...
You don't just walk into the Ekka while they're setting it up, you know?
Like, yeah, like, they could, like Bronson could have said something about a fucking carnival, you know? Like, it's just like, all right, we're at a carnival now. And then there's mysterious music, and I've written, be careful of local carnies, because they're the carniest. And so he's following, like, this weird Australian gypsy girl. And
her name is Madame Fortune.
yeah, and I wrote Pete's gonna get molested. And then he's in this, and then when he follows the girl and she turns around, it turns out she's really old. And I'm assuming this is how you lost your virginity.
What, did I just followed a young lady and then she turned old?
Wasn't the karaoke gal 40?
Yeah. She never was young and then turned old, though. There was no magic involved. I wish my life was that
no
whimsical.
Magic involved, just molestation.
So Madame Fortune knows his name. He doesn't question that at all. He just says, I better be going now.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, I sort of get just like, okay, you know, it's a fucking magic lady. Why would I question this?
But she's like, no, you can't go, or then you'll never get a kiss from a kiss. And he's like, oh, I don't want a kiss from you. Not from me, from Fiona. Oh, and then shows her a weird pot.
Yeah, it's like this pot of congealed blood. Like, it looked red, but it was very thick. And like they never explained what it was.
No,
just like it's just like a fucking, you know, ooh, look in the pot. It tells you what your desires are, and it's like, oh yeah, it's like Fiona. And so she get like, and the weird thing is like, again, you know, why is this happening? Like, there's no connection to anything else. It's just like, well, I'm at a carnival, okay. And that the carnival, a lady gives me like a fucking steel cat turd full of invisible lipstick that makes any girl kiss you. And it's like, all right.
That's a lot to take in.
Yeah. Because like, again, it's one of the dropped threads. Because like, all of this, and you're probably at home going, oh yeah, you're probably imagining, your brain's already leapt off into like how a normal narrative doing this would pan out. Like there'd be some kind of point. Maybe the gypsy lady would come back later with like some kind of lesson, you know? Like she can detect horny teens and just wants to like fuck with them or something. It's like, okay, there's lots of ways that you can do this. But it's just like, no, she's just like, yeah, all right, you know. I show up and like give you the fucking magic thing that'll get like just any woman or any female. And she stresses any female to like kiss you. But like she's going to come get it in like 12 hours or some shit.
40.
40, all right.
40 hours, which is an odd number.
Yeah.
Because 24 hours is a day and 48 is 2 days. So 48 hours
40,
would make sense.
No.
But, oh well. We cut to Pete back in the lighthouse, opening Bronson's door. Because we have to have Bronson in the episode for some reason.
It is very Bronson light, which is probably good considering the subject matter.
And he asks to borrow Bronson's watch. Because Bronson has a digital watch. And he asks him to set an alarm for Friday at, I think, 5 p.m. or 4 p.m.
Yeah.
Because that's when the gypsy lady is going to come for the lipstick.
It's nice that he's like, the first thing he thinks about is accurately returning the thing on time. You know?
Well, it's a magic gypsy lady that turned old, so.
Yeah, I suppose. I mean, the last thing I'd want to do is like anger the sexual assault gypsy.
Yeah.
It's like, you've given me a tool to manipulate women. I don't want you upset with me.
No.
You know, I don't want to meet like your fucking hellhound made of dicks.
So Bronson, seeing an opportunity to make some money, says, I'll lend it to you for $2.
Fair enough.
Which is too cheap, Bronson. You're selling yourself under there. And we cut, once again, madness, to Linda and Fiona out walking at night, and Pete's stalking them, of course.
Okay, look, like, Facebook didn't exist. You needed to get up off the couch, stop looking at your phone and actually just stalk a teenage girl.
Yeah, but there's a difference, like,
With your
between,
weird rape lipstick.
maybe trying to follow her and meet her, run into her coincidentally in a mall, or cowering in the bushes.
I don't think either of those are very good.
No.
Yeah.
But you know what I mean.
Yeah.
One's more preferable to the other. One's in daylight. One's not in the middle of night, hiding behind a car.
One's not in the bushes.
Peering. And we find out that Hugh is 17.
Yeah, how old? Yeah, because like she's talking. This is the thing I was talking about earlier, where it's just like, because like we were talking about how the fuck old is like Townsend and why is he at this fucking school thing?
Yeah.
And then Fiona goes, "He's a bit old, isn't he?" To like Linda, and like Linda's just like, "Whatever, I like him mature," and girls mature earlier, and a million other things that women would yell at you for saying.
So Pete decides now's the time. This is it. They say goodbye.
Yeah.
And he's like, well, I'm going to
go
it's
knock
my
on
time
the
to
door
shine.
with my fucking
And
horny lipstick on.
coats his lips. Bang, bang on the door. Guess who answers? It's Fiona's mum.
Good looking gal.
To which, bam.
I know. The best part about this is it's not like a little peck on the cheek style kiss.
No.
Like this adult woman makes out with someone who I think in the show is like 13 or 14.
Yeah. And then he runs for it because he's covered in lipstick and the husband comes to the door.
Well, the husband and Fiona. Yeah. And it's just like, is there anything you want to say, young man? It's just like, he just covered in lipstick and gallops off. And it's just like, it's amazing that the show just doesn't feel the need to address that at all. That's my favorite thing about this. Is just a lot of stuff happens where an adult woman will molest a child in front of other people. And like, even if you're not that bothered by that like detail, it's like, that's still like Fiona's mum. That's the girl you're going after's mum.
Yeah. So if you become her girlfriend, you're going to see her a lot. So good luck with that.
And she knows that happened, so I don't know, like, fucking...
And also, how are you going to explain that to the father?
Yeah.
Who's still in the dark and asks his wife, is there anything you want to tell me, dear?
Yeah. You've been fucking the local boys without letting me watch again.
You know I like to watch.
And then, like, we get another, like, great just cut to school next day with, like, an attempt at maybe having a moral of the story where it's like the little, Faye's giving a lecture about like personal space, which is not quite the point of point on consent I think they should be going for.
Yeah.
It's not about personal space.
No. And Pete decides, the boy genius he is,
having experienced already what this can do with a misfire,
decides, hey, I'm going to do it in class. In the middle of class. Not even at lunch.
Not even like if you go, hey Fiona, can I like meet you later over by the tree?
Yeah.
And like you think it's her and then it turns out it's not.
Yeah.
Like where that would, all right, yeah, he's like away and there's a fucking logic to this. It's just like, no, I'm going to slap my fucking, Mac Attack lipstick on in class. And I got molested last night, but what are the odds exactly that thing that the gypsy told me would happen again? And I also went through this already.
I love that he just has his head in the textbook while he's doing it, because so he can't see anyone.
Yeah.
His head's in the textbook, and then he goes,
yeah,
Fiona, and then turns around, and Fiona's gone. Yeah, she's exited the room.
She had to go pee or some shit.
So another chick sees him and gets up, starts making out with Pete, and then suddenly all the women in the room
and Tiger's narrating and like. Tiger just narrating like the teacher coming to like make out with Pete at his desk, which is again like,
dude, Linda first.
That's right. Yeah,
even his own sister.
Yeah.
And the best part about this was Miss James was trying to fight it, and she was shaking, and like, but she was just overcome in the end, and over, and boom, and then all the girls started going, "Oh no, I kissed Pete," and it's just like.
Yeah, one girl threw up, which has got to do stuff to your self-esteem.
Yeah, seeing all the girls in the class just get up and start heaving and leaving. It's
This is
not okay.
yeah, like this is why you don't want the hypnosis lipstick or the hypnosis fucking things.
Mind
It's like
altering.
you don't want to
kiss
get
me
fucked
lipstick.
begrudgingly, man.
Mm.
Like
To which we end and we cut to the lighthouse to music. The music from previous
a little-
episodes, a little jingle.
a little tease.
Again, and it's like, come on, there's enough going in this episode that we don't. But I guess it's a point to get Tony at the top. And Fiona shows up to the lighthouse, which is the best. And they comes outside and she's like, well, we've got some complaints about Pete. And it's like, look, I don't think this is fair to say we have complaints about Pete.
Yeah, like
when you kissed him.
yeah, because your complaint has to be predicated on the idea that you know he has magic lipstick.
Yes.
Because otherwise, there's no complaint.
Why are you complaining about Pete?
Yeah, you molested him.
Yeah.
Like that's, you know,
To which Faye says, well, you kissed Fiona's mum, Miss whatever her name is. And to which Linda adds in, also you did too, which is just killer because the look on her face.
in front of fucking like Tony as well, in front of horny dad.
And Dad's upset about this. He looks at betrayal at Pete. How could my own offspring from my very own loins kiss
like-
my woman?
Yeah, and like this is like again, it's that thing of like, because Pete's normally pretty quick on picking up on like, oh yeah, this is what this magic item does, you know. Whereas like here, it's like, oh yeah, I'll just use it in class, it'll be fine. And then like,
So Pete explains.
yeah, and then horny dad decides to give it a try, and Linda, in a display of what I can only describe as like just probably the smartest move in the whole series so far,
Mm.
is to just run the fuck away.
You do not want horny dad's magic lipstick
They're
affecting
just-
you.
There are levels of molestation we can't get into.
Yeah. So Faye full on makes out with Tony. Nell starts walking up, and I really wanted her to make out with Tony, but apparently she's
That's
immune
what I was
to
expecting.
she's immune to the lipstick, which means she might not be human.
Was she immune or had it like,
Run off.
yeah?
Well, I don't know. All the girls in the class were kissing Pete.
Yeah, that's
Lasted a
point.
very long time then.
Maybe the lipstick like doesn't work on like lesbians or transgenders.
I've
or
just got a
something, maybe.
feeling that Nell is some sort of spirit. I don't think she's human.
She looks like Hoggle's older sister, you know,
Mm.
from Labyrinth.
Mm.
So maybe she's like a goblin.
I
But still, though, it, like, because she said female of any species. Like,
again, she might not be female. She might be a fucking.
well, that's like because
Entity.
I think like if you have the lipstick, you've got like a subtle trans detector there.
Mm.
So that's probably what Nell is. So like, although yeah, I wrote don't tease Nell molestation if you aren't going to back it up, because I was prepared for a great comedy sequence there.
I know.
And you know, I mean, Tony does say that, you know, because like Pete wants his like fucking lipstick back, and then Tony goes, "It's too powerful for children." And although he's
I
completely
agree.
planning on using it to molest Faye, that is a correct statement. You shouldn't let your kids run around with like fucking. hypno
Faye
sex
also
lipstick.
said after the kiss, "Oh, you know, it's okay, it's okay." It was something that was coming.
I mean, yeah. Like,
So
you know,
they were always dancing around, so it wasn't too bad there. Pete, being again the genius he is, steals the lipstick back
goes to school with it.
again.
I know.
To school again
I
because it
wrote, like,
worked
why
out
are you doing this
so
at
well
fucking
last
school?
time. And
This
they
time he-
send them to the carnival on an excursion,
That's fun.
which is odd because usually you go to there'd have to be a learning
of year.
element to.
Or like end of year for like breakup party and shit.
I
It might
guess.
just be because it's like the only time the carnival's in town and the school has just like learned not to
the
fight
school is built on the backbone of the carnival system.
it. The school was built on the side of the old carnival.
And so we go to the carnival. We're not in class. This is the thing that kind of blew my mind is we went from so many jump cuts, just here to there to there.
There's
'Cause
not a lot of there's
We were
not
at
a
the
lot
school for like less than a minute.
I know, like the school probably wasn't even necessary, you know, like rather than that scene, like
You could have had them at the carnival with
Or,
Miss
you know-
James going, "Okay, I want you in pairs."
have Linda, because they have a whole thing where they're trying to pair up the kids to the buddy system so you don't get lost. But that means nothing and goes nowhere.
Yeah.
I mean, like, Faye does say that, like, all the girls go, I don't want to go with Pete because he's gross. And Faye does say that she'll go with him. And it's like,
Also,
all right, there's a bit of that.
The buddy system, right?
Yeah.
Tiger, Rabbit, and Gribble are by themselves. That's 3 people.
Also, like, Faye specifically said boy, girl.
Yeah.
Which is not a rule of the buddy system.
No.
I want to stress that, having done a whole unit on buddy system. Yeah. I think that's just another one of those things where, like, you just look at, like, Gribble, Rabbit, and Tiger, and you just accept that they're like this
Nothing
weird...
would be of worth if these guys...
Well, they're this weird dog trio of unfuckable dick nuts. So, like...
If they were lost, no.
Yeah, you're just going to get yelled at if you force a girl to go near them. And why fight it? Just let them be the weird little fucking Cerberus that they are.
We see that there's a kissing booth.
Carnival shut down my fondling booth. Like,
hi, welcome to Tandy's Diddle Hut.
Like, what are the rules on? Like, I mean, I'm assuming. I mean, does a kissing booth count as sex work? I mean, the thing is, I don't think I've ever seen an actual kissing booth in operation, and I feel like this is something that may have been like, I feel like this is the quicksand thing, whereas like it was in every cartoon for like 40 years, but like isn't a problem.
Yeah,
Or just never actually existed. Or
I
there was one
never
once.
seen one.
Yeah.
And so there, Tiger, Gribble, and Rabbit line up, and Gribbs is like, I'm gonna get 500 kisses, or did he say 100 kisses? One of them.
I don't know.
500 kisses, and then Rabbit says, "Well, that'll be $500." After the first kiss,
Yeah.
But
She'll want to chuck him some freebies.
he ends up getting up to it, and as he gets up, she puts a little closed sign up.
She probably doesn't want to kiss a 13-year-old boy.
Yeah, that's fair.
Again, who's checking IDs at the fucking kissing booth? Yeah.
You just kiss. You want some STDs, kids? Come here.
It's just a less glorious glory hole when you think about it.
Considering you have to pay for it as well.
Yeah. And then fucking, Gribble wants Pete's magic suck stick. Because, he's figured it out as well. Because, like, Gribble lives in the magic dimension.
You skipped over one important fact first. And that is, Faye says that she wouldn't want to kiss anyone against her will.
Was it Faye or Fiona?
Fiona, sorry. Kiss anyone she doesn't like, she says.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
So that's an important fact. So Pete hears this as well.
He's starting to learn.
That, oh, shit, maybe everything's working out badly if I keep doing it this way.
Yeah.
And then, Gribbs works it out and tries to take it.
And then we get like an amazing fucking Jackie Chan stunt sequence. Like, because especially these days, I don't think they'd let like a child actor jump and climb a fucking, animal stables.
Oh, Lord, no.
Like, because he this thing's like 5 feet off the ground. He jumps up. He's scrambling across.
They're probably all stunt actors.
It's possible. And then, like, he falls down into the pit and, like, a pig makes out with him. And it's like, that's meant to be
the lipstick gets smeared on his face in a scuffle.
Gets on him. But it's like also, like, a pig will just lick your face. Like, a lot of animals will just lick your face. Like, I don't think you need a magic lipstick.
They did more than just kiss him, Gabe. The pigs...
And you get to see a pig's weird spiral dick.
The pigs got to home bait. They got all the way around.
In the original story, Pete gets blown by a pig.
That's the director's cut. It's available on the Blu-ray in high definition.
Yeah, that was from the classic Paul Jennings book, What the Fuck?
So the boys chase Pete. He falls in, gets kissed. And then we go to Pete slowly walking home.
He's sad.
And he gets ambushed again.
Yeah. I wrote, Pete can't escape for shit. Like, he's just, granted, there's 3 of them. So, like, that does create, like, difficulty.
And they also went to the place where he lived, which is
Yeah. Oh, well, even like when he was trying to get away from him before the pigs. Like, I'm not even sure why they didn't catch him when he fell in with the pigs. I think it was like, oh, fuck it, just let the pigs molest him.
Because the guy came up. Remember, he came
that's
running
right, yeah,
over,
the
going, "What are
fucking-
you kids
yeah.
doing?" And that's what caused him to fall in because he got startled.
The pig Carney.
Yeah. And so they ambush Pete, and he's give me the lipstick. And he says, "You take it. It's just caused me nothing but problems." And they're like, "Oh yeah, it's my time to shine."
Pete's matured.
And the next part, who is directing this episode? Who is making this episode? Who is the cinematographer on this
That's some
episode?
good shot choices.
Yeah, we get a nice, beautiful pan shot to Pete sitting on a rock, by the ocean,
staring out into the ocean.
And it's a really nice shot, and it just doesn't fit with the rest of the stuff going on.
Yeah, like the beach and the cliff kind of circles around from like, the background and loops around the sort of coast. And then there's just this like, not stormy, but like very rough surf sort of between there that like, kind of reminds one of Pete's inner turmoil. And then like Fiona shows up and like, because again, like, When you let him walk to the door, it's like, all right, well, you gotta, is it going anywhere or not? Like, just say one way or the other. Don't leave Pete and like, pining for you. It's okay, just go, yeah, fuck off. Like, fine. But like, don't just halfway shit.
So she comes in and saves the day from Pete's loneliness and decides to actually give him a proper kiss.
Yeah, which is kind of like... Like, again, like, it just... Because, like, when you look at things from her, like, what she's been seeing...
It's all fucked up.
Yeah, and, like, I get that kind of this is where it was going anyway. Because, like, what are Fiona's other options?
The thing that...
Gribble looks like an anus, The
thing that annoys me about it is she decides to kiss him, right?
Yeah.
After...
So this is like, that's the thing, like, women have to do that. Women have to make the fucking first move. Because, like, if I hit on a girl in an elevator, granted, if I don't know her or whatever the fuck, yeah, she doesn't know me from fucking Adam. I might be, like, the fucking elevator rapist. She doesn't, it's fine. Like, so, yeah, like, I'm big and scary, and, like, yeah, you're not gonna know.
All right, I remember what I was
worried
trying to think
by,
of.
like, fucking...
So what I was trying to think of is, what she says is, "Oh, Linda told me everything about the lipstick and all that sort of stuff." And she still chooses to kiss him, even though his plan was to use magic lipstick to get her to kiss him against her will.
I feel like...
She's rewarding.
Yeah, but I feel like she's probably, like, recognizing, like, the effort he went to,
You
like,
put in a lot of effort to magic molest me. I am going to let you kiss me now.
I know, but, like, I don't know, man. Women are fucking weird sometimes.
Maybe that's her kink. Maybe she likes getting magic molested. So, but that's also there's another confusing thing because she kisses him. Oh wait, no. Then the alarm goes off.
Yeah, and I thought it was all a dream or some shit, but no, it was just like the alarm that he'd set, and then it's like, oh yeah, the gypsy lady's gonna be coming for that lipstick.
And it cuts back to the Gribble boys stalking women once again. There's a lot of stalking in this episode from a lot of people.
It's just it's a fair bit, and like it's like the hot young version of it from like
The
Carnival.
signpost when you come into the town is Port Naranda, home of the stalker.
People are watching you.
Port Naranda, walk with a taser. So they're hiding and they see the gypsy woman coming.
Yeah, and Gribble's like, right, I'm getting my fucking.
She looks
lipstick
pretty.
on.
She looks pretty beautiful, and he puts it on, and of course, she turns into the old one.
Yeah,
and we get a great little chase scene, kind of mini scene of her chasing the boys up the hill towards the camera.
she looks kind of like one of those Japanese no masks, like the white ones with like the weird eyebrows, and she's just, she's not taking no for an answer.
No.
It'd be like one of those older gals that goes around like collecting virginities.
The moral
Just
of the story is
punching V cards.
she raped them all.
Yeah, Gribble will edit that story a little bit in the retellings.
Because that was what the trade-off for Pete getting a kiss. You can kiss as many girls as you want,
But
I want the lipstick, and I want my payment. Boy penis.
Gribble's gonna edit out the fact where, like, you know, Rabbit was made to stand like facing the corner while it all happened.
So yeah, that was
Like it
Lucky
ends,
Lips.
yeah. And it's like, you know, there's like bits of it. It feels like they've like almost successfully tricked me into thinking I watched stories I didn't see just by using like the faint bits of them. But it's just like there just wasn't kind of enough room to really. I mean, personal space isn't the issue that we're dealing with here. No, it's not about personal
It's
space.
magic molestation.
Yeah, this is one about like sort of, you know, consent and like confidence and things like that. And like, because you should know, like, again, you know, if like you're more or less in a good, you know, you're in a good position if you're at the fucking disco getting your fucking slow dance and she hasn't like explicitly looked at your face and has gone, I'm just doing this out of pity. You know, like you're probably all right. Like but you don't probably need the fucking roofies there, you know?
Yeah.
Like maybe to see where, you know, where this is going. Well, this is going naturally. You don't have to rush, you know? You're like fucking 12 or some shit.
You have plenty of time.
Yeah. And Gribble looks like a fucking Cheeto covered in pubes and is apparently, you know, your competition. So, like, I wouldn't fret too much there.
I knew exactly like 5 people that look like him.
Because, like, even fucking Townsend looks like him.
Yeah.
If he, like, I don't know, evolved, you know? But, like, you know, there's just. Because, like, I feel like in ways that could have been a much better sort of plot here, because the bits and pieces are sort of there, but it's just like we get, you know, just lots of weird shit that sort of doesn't kind of glue together entirely well, and then instead of that glue we have like just like Snapper winking at him, which is wildly unnecessary to anything.
Yeah. I also got no resolution on that either.
No resolution on that. The dad thing kind of goes nowhere. There was something else with Linda that I mean, I suppose like they're exploiting the fact that they're a serialized narrative to sort of maybe stretch some of this stuff out. Like, I'm not expecting like the Linda and fucking Townsend thing to like get wrapped up, but hey, it's just it's close to being a much tighter and better plot, and it's weird that they sort of eschew that for like, you know, it's sort of weird because again, like you got to wrap up happenstance like the gypsy lady into your character's dramatic faults, you know?
Yeah.
Because if you do that, it'll feel a little bit more natural than just ping, we're at the carnival. Ping, magic gypsy lady lipstick. Like, because that's deranged.
Yeah.
But I suppose like just the fucking standards are fucking lower. Like, you know, you go back into like in the 80s and watch cartoons from that period and it's just like, you just do anything. You didn't even have to like, you'll sit there and you'll think about, oh yeah, 3 acts and like you need a beginning, a middle and an end. It's like, no, He-Man's on Netflix. And I don't mean the new He-Man that was written like recently, like that, and is a serialized show that like has arcs and a basic idea of character. Like there's old episodes of the fucking 80s He-Man. It's just like the first episode is like, I'm a wizard. I've got like meteors. And it's just stuff happening. Because it's a fucking, you know, 30-second fucking ad for a muscle dude toy being stretched in 20 minutes.
Yeah. Yeah. So what do we have for the Ever Felt Likes for this one?
Nothing, because I haven't written them down yet.
I think we should have you ever been kissed against your will? Or
Have you ever
kissed
been molested?
in a startling way?
Yeah. Have you ever been to like a school disco?
That's a good one. Have you ever had an experience with a gypsy at a carnival?
I was gonna say, have you ever gotten any at a carnival? That can be the joke one.
Yeah, that can be the joke one.
So normally, like, I'd get you to edit this or something because we sort of rushed straight into like
Sorry.
Recording. No, it's okay. I forgot because I forgot my fucking laptop as well. Because normally I've been taking notes on my fucking phone, having to use my stupid goddamn thing. So what was the first one?
Have you ever been kissed against your will or in a startling way?
Yeah. Like, don't tell us if you. Okay, like, look, and I want to stress this. Don't fucking. We're not your therapists, so don't tell me if you've been actually molested. I just want to.
Yeah, please.
I want to head that off at the pass right now. Try and like, if this is kind of funny or like a little lighthearted, you know. I don't want to hear like, oh yeah, my dad molested me since I was 2. Because that's not light material.
If you want me to do that, you need to start paying us a therapist rate.
Yeah, we should add that to the Patreon.
Yeah.
Therapy rate, because we have to listen to this shit. What was the other one?
Have you ever been to a school disco?
Yeah, that was a cracker. Well, tell us about your first kiss. That was one. That's a wholesome one.
Mm.
You know. We'll go those. Those will be our 3. Have you
I just wrote down, have you ever been about a disco? What's wrong with my brain?
Well, I mean, for the first one, like, you know, I've worked in bar work, so yeah, like a lot.
Mm.
Like, women, there's a certain point of drunk where women are real rapey. And, like, there are certain circumstances that, like, just turn that into multipliers.
Mm.
Like, hens nights, fucking nightmares.
Oh, God.
And, like, again, it's that thing of, like, I don't really care. Like, you know, I'm not going to write a sad blog post about how this affected me, because it didn't. Because, you know, I'm 6 feet tall and big. So it's just kind of a novel inconvenience for me, you know?
Mm.
Even the big girls, like, they're not, like, strong. Like, it's just, yeah, just like, because that's the thing, was like, my primary concern in trying to get them to stop was, how do I get them to stop without making one of them cry? Because, God, that's worse. Like, that's always the rookie mistake, is like, drunk girls are awful.
Mm.
You don't want to be around drunk girls. There's like this tiny window of like slight fun at like 2 to 3 standard drinks in. And then after that, there's just this horrifying nightmare line of, any minute now, this is going to turn into a giant horny toddler that will vomit and cry on you. And it's nightmarish. It's fucking horrible. Stone girls, on the other hand, best things in the fucking world.
Yeah. I remember getting kissed kind of against my will / startlingly.
Mm.
And that was in my old apartment. And I was baked, sitting on the couch. And I remember getting a text from my housemate going, dude, have pants on and bring company home. And I was like, you know how I feel about pants.
What level of not pants are we talking here? Because, like, I'm okay with, like, undies, but if you're, like, free balling around the house.
No, underwear.
Like,
I was in underwear,
right.
but, like, he wanted more than underwear.
Right. Well,
so he was bringing women home.
Okay.
Anyway.
I feel like undies is, like, that's, you know, I'm okay with that.
The door opens and he walks in with these 2 girls. One looks completely buggered. And she just, like, kind of walks in, sensory takes in the place. It's kind of like a scanner. I sees me, beelines over, and then just starts making out with me for like 30 seconds, then just walks away. Just leaves. And it's like, I was just like, what just happened? And he goes, oh yeah, she's been drunk for 3 days. And I'm like,
good God.
Christ. And he's like, yeah, she also has SARS. And I'm like, fucking excuse me? And he goes, well, we don't know if she has SARS. We think she might. She's been tested. And I'm like, you didn't think to maybe stop her?
Why are you coming over like this?
Yeah. But anyway, it turned, she didn't. I'm fine. But yeah.
She might have SARS.
That was a bit of a...
That's a
lot to deal with when you're baked.
Yeah.
Mm.
It's clumsy, aggressive. There'll be teeth involved sometimes. Like, the last thing you can ever say to a drunk girl is, please don't bite me. Because, like, they'll just hear that as bite me, and they'll do it. And they'll draw blood sometimes, the fucking little maniacs.
So have you ever been to a school disco?
Yeah, once. They weren't really my thing, though, because I didn't drink until, I was well out of high school. And those are things you got to get, like, proper drunk for. Like, I smoked lots of weed, and that just puts you in your own head. And, like, I just kind of sat there and was like, well, I'm attending an event.
I do not remember a disco. Like, I remember going to one, but I do not remember it being fun or being anything good. It was in
I mean, why would it be?
School, like, hall/gym thing. I don't know.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I just remember it being shit. Because, like, hardly anyone was dancing. Most people kind of showed up and left. Yeah, it was just bad.
Because, I mean, yeah, like, because they have the school ones, and then they have, like, in Australia, they have blue light discos, which are ones run by the, like, I don't know, PCYC, which is the Police Citizens Youth Club, which is kind of like the YMCA, I suppose, maybe. And basically, they're for, like, under 18s and shit. But again, like, I don't know. I don't know why you'd go to something like that. I think that's just for, like, normal people, you know?
As for people who like dancing in other people's company.
Yeah, that's just fucking weird. Don't know what that business is about.
No. What was the next one?
Have you been to a... Well, you wrote them down when I was talking, didn't you?
Have you ever been to a carnival?
No, we came up with something way better.
The joke one was, have you ever gotten in any in a carnival?
Yeah, like I came up with an actual third one, but I can't remember what it is because I didn't write it down because you were writing it down.
I didn't write the third one down though.
Oh, you fucking space idiot! I swear you did.
No, because I wrote, have you ever been about a carnival, remember?
Oh, Jesus.
Because my brain went then.
Oh, yeah.
Because
like
I said my brain's fucked.
No, it was like your first kiss.
Oh, yeah. Well, there you go. I'm glad my brain fucking has led you to that road.
Well, no, it's like, I forget my meds mean I can remember things.
Mm. See, I'm on my meds, so I can't remember things.
You're on the opposite meds.
Lyrica. The Lyrica's coming from the marbles. First kiss. Let me think. I remember my first more adult like kiss.
We'll go there. Like I don't need to
because like I can't like I might have been kissed young, but I don't fucking remember. It was from a girl that I had met on a dating site.
Okay.
Now this was early internet. Still.
And when was this?
Like probably 2004-ish. Yeah. So
how old were you?
Good question. I think I'd probably just turned 18.
I'd say you'd want to hope, but also I could imagine a 2004 dating site not being able to really check that very well.
Now, I might not be sitting here. This could have gone complete opposite way. Okay, so
Jesus.
Because I was talking to a girl on there, right?
Yeah.
And when I finally met up with her, she like just drove to my house and picked me up in her car.
Just 3 dwarves
and we just went
coach.
for a drive. I could be dead. Like, that's exactly what they warn you against. Don't get into cars with strangers.
Yeah, but again, like, women don't just, like, drive you into the bush and strangle you. That's a dude thing.
Oh, women, this one might have.
Women, no. It's like women will, like, you know.
Dude, trust me, from the look of her, this one might have.
Women do that, like, death angel thing where they look after you, but, like, secretly they're poisoning you, so you stay, like, broken and, like, reliant on them.
Mm.
And then after a while, they just kill you.
Yeah. But anyway, we went for a drive for a while and we went back to the house and then I remember we kissed. She tasted like cigarettes.
How old was she?
Probably, I think, would have been between 18 and 20. She was young as well.
Huh.
But yeah, she was, I remember, very punkish looking. I didn't really see her much from then. She had a friend, one of her best friends who was a lesbian, didn't like men. So that made things difficult. But yeah, that was mine. I remember that. What about you?
Jesus, wept. I was like fucking 18 and some girl that I don't even remember kissed me at a party. And like,
Party
I was
kissing.
so just unable, like, you know, this is like real bad, like fucking depression and anxiety. And so like, I wasn't even comfortable being touched.
Ugh,
So,
yeah.
you know, that didn't go anywhere.
Yeah, fair enough. You know, I miss drunk party kissing. You know,
yeah, I mean,
sometimes, so like some days I just that feeling of just being that young, intoxicated, and just having lots of attractive strangers around you, like, and just people making out everywhere and stuff. House parties were fun because there was always someone getting hurt, someone making out. It was a very variety of activities. You know,
there was a lot. A lot was usually happening.
there's keg stands, and
I don't think I ever saw a keg, let alone a keg stand.
I saw someone attempt a keg stand. It didn't go well because they couldn't hold themselves up, and the people holding them couldn't hold them up.
Yeah,
They were
like,
too
you have
large to do that.
Yeah, I was gonna say, yeah, like it's like when you see someone really, really fat try to use a rope swing, and it's like, all right, you need a lot of arm and a surprising amount of core strength for this.
Yeah.
And like, because of the way physics works, you're gonna weigh a lot more at the bottom than you do at the start, and you'll just watch just plap, just straight flat slap out of the goddamn water.
Okay, so before we move on to the emails, just once again, those questions were: have you tell us about if you've ever been kissed startlingly or against your will? No molestation stories, nothing weird.
Yeah, like I don't
like. Please, I know. Like the thing is, we've set a bar with these stories, and they just keep getting weirder from people. But again, we aren't therapists, and there's a point where there's too much. So please, just
we aren't therapists, and we aren't the rapists.
just check yourself down a little before you get anxious to throw us a weird story. Have you?
Like again, you know, I said that because like from my thing of like bar work, it's just something that would happen, and you wouldn't really, you know, it's not like someone leapt out of a bush, you know.
Do you remember your first kiss? And did you get any at the carnival?
Well, no, that was the joke one.
question.
Have you gone to like, you know, a school disco or like a school dance?
Yes, but also the joke one.
Yeah, if you've gotten laid at a carnival, all right.
Buy a carny.
Yeah, I'm gonna. I feel like, yeah, it's like, oh yeah, me and my girlfriend went to a carnival and she jacked me off on the wipeout. I don't care. Like, I want. If you're gonna have the weird goddamn carny
Dagwood
sex
dog
question,
man gave me a
a downward dog.
Yeah. All right. Let's hear from the masses.
Yep. All right. Dear Twist Boys, please just call me anything other than my real name. This story is too embarrassing to get found out. I hope so.
You've got it, lemon bottom.
Lemon bottom, that's good. Also, I'm hella dyslexic and English isn't my first language, so I'm sorry if anything sounds off, but I'll get on with the story. This happened in kindergarten. I was probably like 5 years old at the time. I stood on top of a hill and I could see some sort of trailer at the bottom. I thought back to the day before when my father told me that I had a very hard head. I can't remember why. We were playing or something. You can probably see where this is going. No, but I'm on it for the ride. So in all my infinite wisdom, I thought he meant that literally, and I wanted to test it out. I ran at full speed down the hill with my head forward like some sort of ram, aiming for the trailer. I can't remember much after that, and I have avoided talking about as much as possible for fear of anyone realizing why I did it. But what I do know is that I cracked my head open like an egg and got sent to the ER where I got a bunch of stitches. I still have a scar too. Another story that you don't have to read. Well, too late. From the same kindergarten is that I was playing in a tree and fell down and somehow got my head stuck between two branches so that I was just hanging by my head and couldn't touch the ground.
Holy shit!
I think some of my friends ran off to get the teacher. That was my story. I hope you liked it, or at least can make fun of me. I love your show. Please keep up the great work.
Look, my question is, I don't think that was not a question, it's more of a statement. I don't think that kindergarten was very good, considering you ran downhill, smacked your head out to go to ER, and also fell out of a tree.
Yeah, I don't know what you're going to do, like looking after Little Big Head. Like, you know, like it's like, oh yeah, look,
He's got a head like Stewie, but in real life, you know?
yeah. What happened? Oh, big head's caught in the tree again. Like, I feel like that's the part he's not telling us is that was like that just every Tuesday, and it wasn't always the same tree. Like, he's not an idiot.
Like the door's normal shape, and they have a smaller cutout of the door with a bigger head to go through. And I was like, but I can fit through the normal door. Shut up and go through the big head door.
Quiet, big head. Hello, Aaron and Gabe. Both surprised and impressed that the teacher that got the class to high five because a girl was absent got a holy shit out of both of you. This guy was a unique case, and I have reams of the good, the bad, and the ugly on him of a similar character caliber, even better. That's not why I'm writing today. Okay. I have never really felt either ugly or pretty. Maybe because I'm a guy, I guess. No one's called me ugly that I'm aware of. I have felt fat. Well, that counts. Because I have been, and the age 11 to 13 awkward phase hit me hard. The only people who've called me handsome are girlfriends, blood relatives, and randy wobbly old ladies. Yeah, like
I thought you were going to say, and Randy Orton.
And Randy Orton in with his, hey, handsome. I'm the legend killer. Me, Randy Orton. Thought you were going to say Randy Orton. I thought you were going to... Randy Orton calls me handsome in my DMs. Sure. Strapping on the fucking, like,
Oh, shit.
you know, straight jacket. Can't let this madness escape. The injury that took me to hospital is my time to shine. Chopstick through the thumb. All right, fair enough. Woo! I'd made myself some instant noodles, and exterior events caused me to lash out in frustration with said implement in hand. Huh. My thumb was on the pointy end, not the side as intended. This was the Japanese chopstick, which are typically lighter, shorter, and more tapered than their Chinese counterparts, and this was a particularly stylized design. Straight in the metacarpal phalangeal and out through the knuckle by about an inch.
Wee.
Went to the 999 ambulance. I waited about 20 minutes before I was with a doctor. Incredible for an NHS hospital. 5 to 6 anesthetic injections in and around the thumb, didn't shift it. The end was ribbed as well as tapered. Gas and air next. Highly recommended. I remember having double vision, slipping under, a brief sensation of something happening as a doc yanked out the offending item. Being surprised when I came to in a hospital minutes later, like waking up after fainting. I was orbiting fucking Saturn in front of a doctor, student doctor, my mum, and granddad. X-rays showed that it had completely missed all nerves, bone, connective tissue, and other vital thumb areas. That is a lot to miss in a very small amount of space, too. All I have to show for it is 2 small scars, one in, one out, and the photos. I can't access them at this point in time. Okay? Prepared to share if I get my hands on them. No blood, very little pain or distress. The gas made it a legitimately pleasant experience.
Want to see it?
Yeah. I convinced my mum I couldn't write, so I took... All right, now that's thinking. So I took the day after off school and spent the whole day playing video games. We kept the chopstick and used it.
Wait. You convinced your mother that you could not write,
And then she did...
but you could play the video games.
Isn't your thumb working?
The thumb, which is literally the main component of playing most video games.
I cannot and never have been able to play a musical instrument. I don't think the didgeridoo counts. It counts, it rules. My partner reminded me of more wanking at school stories that I've told her about too, if you want to hear more. Starting with a guy at one school I was at who had to have a teaching assistant constantly supervising him in lesson.
I feel we have too much wankings.
I'm just amazed, like, you know, because I went to 2 bomb schools and they weren't like, you know, there was nothing approximating.
So your
even close
schools
to
were
this.
too into drugs.
Yeah, I suppose.
There's more of like the good Christian schools and stuff. That's where the orgies were fine.
That's where like the fucking oppression just manifests as like fucking class wanking.
Play soggy biscuit.
The other case was a school trip wanking. Oh god, this is so much. All right, we'll just keep up the good work. See you next video. Because I can't read another 4 paragraphs on like fucking kids wanking.
Too much wanking.
just.
There's so many people eager to share their wanking.
Hey, Gum Gabe and orangutan. That's good. Or, like turning a name in orangutan.
That's actually really clever. I've never heard that.
Yeah. I have felt pretty. When I was in high school, everyone was rocking the mid-thousands, early 2010 emo haircut, and while I didn't have the giant emo hairstyle, I did straighten my hair to give myself the early PewDiePie and Smosh haircut. I'm too old to know what those are. I'm assuming
I understand, though.
Okay. I felt pretty when I had my hair like that. Ha, and the girls seemed to like it. I don't think I have been hospitalized, but my older brother was hospitalized thanks to a bull ant bite. Ooh. We also found out that he is allergic to those sort of bites, so he was in hospital for a few days. Even if you're not allergic, a bull ant bite sucks. Like those sting like shit.
Yeah.
Lastly, while I can't play an instrument, I did try to make 8-bit MIDI music style when I was in year 8 and 9. By the way, fun fact, apparently you can use your Game Boy to make music. A program called LSDJ and its Game Boy sequencer. Yeah, we had like a few people show up to the bar a couple of times and do like little concerts on Game Boy. Some of them were really good.
Yeah, chip tunes.
Yeah, I was quite partial to those. Dear Gabe and Aaron, did you check the subject header? No. Just read out my first name, you fucking poof cunt. Oh, well, fucking, fine, Richard. I used to be able to play the piano and was taking lessons from the same tutor as my mum, who had bought the piano because she always wanted to learn. However, she was quite a few lessons ahead of me, and whenever I was practicing, she would eventually burst into the room and stop me doing my exercises, saying, look, I just need to hear it done properly before taking over. I eventually stopped learning the piano simply because it seemed easier to not have to deal with her demands for perfection. Just to make things extra depressing, I was in my early 20s at the time.
Oh, dude.
I am now 33. My younger brother was essentially forced to learn the trumpet back when he was 10, because my mum had always wanted to learn to play it when she was young, and for some reason thought living vicariously through a youngest child was the best way to go about it. Needless to say, he quit in frustration after a couple of months. The trumpet's a weird one. On a somewhat related note, I had to learn about the birds and the bees from school. My mum was too embarrassed to have the conversation, and my dad got angry when I asked him. See, this is what I mean. Like, it was like the last, fucking 15 generations of dads are just not good for this advice. Not angry enough to threaten violence, but he made it very clear that he would brook no discussion on the subject. In retrospect, I put this down to his Catholic upbringing. Yeah, he was probably molested. Don't worry, I'm completely estranged from my parents. I was still living with them when the plague hit, on account of the economy, and eventually they, my brothers, and my brothers' partners deciding the best thing to help my situation would be to hold an intervention, where I had to surrender most of my free will, and if I didn't, that meant I didn't love my niece and nephew. As I said, I'm out of that living hell now and doing okay. You two helped me more than words could say during that time, although I'd found a couple of years prior to that, so please accept my most sincere thanks.
You're welcome.
Come for the Gabe, stay for the Aaron. Shine on, you crazy diamonds.
Thank you. Give me an actual diamond.
From Ross.
Hi, Russ.
Greetings, bros. Twist. I have felt as such for all 3 questions, but I shall limit myself to 2. Can I play an musical instrument? No, but I can play the didgeridoo. When I tell people this, I always get a weird look right until they remember whom it is they are talking.
Why are there so many people that can play the didgeridoo?
I mean, okay.
Isn't that the second person? Didn't you say the last person played the didgeridoo?
No, they said the didgeridoo didn't count, but I'm not sure if that meant that they played it and it didn't count or that it just didn't count. But I'm curious about this because I know people who can properly play the didgeridoo. And there's a fucking world of difference between I can hoot through a tube and I can play the fucking didgeridoo. Yeah. Because a lot of people will say they can. Yeah, so I've developed a bit of a reputation as that guy who knows strange facts and has weird hobbies. To be fair, a friend of mine has said that backpacking in Europe is super easy if you can play the didgeridoo because you can busk with that shit and people will just give you money.
Cool.
Well, because I've never seen it. It's fucking look at that. It's the goddamn actual thing. I bought it as a souvenir when I spent 2 weeks abroad in Australia, and although it wasn't cheap, I have never once regretted the purchase. I tell people it's the only instrument that never needs tuning. Fair enough. It is, after all, a hollow log, so I jokingly deride it as not a real instrument, but it's also the only one I've ever been good at. Have I ever been hospitalized for an injury? Yes, but I was so young that I remember none of it. I was not yet 2 years old when I fell off the sofa and smashed my face into the edge of the coffee table. Since I am my parents' first and only child, they took paranoid levels of precaution with me, including putting cushioning around the edges of all the hard furniture in the house. In this case, it did jack shit to help. In my fall, the bottom of my face pushed the cushioning down away from the corner of the table, which then split my face open just under the right eye, requiring 2 stitches. To this day, I still have a scar which is visible amongst the creases when I smile, and my mother continues to point out that I had more stitches than years. That's a nice mum phrase.
See, you should have just got an anytime helmet. Then it'll be fun.
Put the safety dome on the child. Hello, Gabe and Aaron. Thanks for your excellent content. Keep up the good work. This is from, I think, Seb. On the topic of Christmas presents. As a child growing up in the late 80s, early 90s in Norway, I have a reasonably privileged household. I've gotten pretty great presents over the years. When I was little, I usually wanted something like Lego or a game console, and I got them, which was great.
Instead, we got fish.
As an adult, however, I never really wanted anything in particular, and I got used to getting new boots or clothes, which I was fine with, as I never really liked shopping for clothes. I think, however, that my most memorable Christmas present, however, from the early 2010s. My girlfriend got me an honest-to-goodness Masterchef apron. Norwegian Masterchef was mostly trash for many years, as it was just celebrities who didn't know how to cook. I took to binge watching the Australian version instead, which was great and really awakened my interest in food. The one she got me was very indistinguishable from the ones in the Australian version. I remember almost crying out of joy and surprise. Funny how a simple thing can mean so much. You know what's weird? Is like somehow Australian Masterchef was popular in lots of places.
It's bizarre, dude.
Yeah.
It must be just because ours is good. Like,
I feel like it was a little more honestly structured as an actual like thing about the cooking,
Right.
and not like let's try to gear up some kind of drama.
yeah.
Although the little midget Greek dude that was on it was like fucking stealing wages from his employees,
Excellent.
which, to be fair to him, is a proud hospitality tradition in Australia.
Yeah.
I mean, like again, I always feel like if there were a royal commission or some shit into hospitality in this country, ooh,
Oh, dude.
like
The whole industry would go down.
yeah, it'd just be like just restaurants don't exist for like 2 years. Hi guys. To feed Aaron's ego, his ability to drive gives podcasts a nice ambience that Gabe scootering along rambling into a GoPro wouldn't. Anyway, I'll try to be brief. Have you ever demonstrated surprising
Yay.
strength? Not sure if it counts as strength, but the Wonder Pants also granted speed, so I'll count it. You know what, alright. Last month I was on a cheap holiday to Ireland and my €11 return flight was the last arrival of the night. It boggles my mind you can get a plane anywhere for 11.
I hate that.
I know.
You know how much it costs to go like one state over? $300. Like
11 fucking
fucking
euro.
$11.
What were you flying on? Like a fucking rocket goat?
Dude, it's the guy on the pedal blimp.
Oh, yeah. The last train for my 45-mile journey home was at 10:04 p.m. and we touched down at 9:45. I was not prepared to spend the night in an airport. Yeah. Weighing about 110 kilos and carrying luggage, I managed to barge past the other passengers, flash my passport at the inspectors with a haste that wouldn't have flown if I was brown, and sprint the length of an abandoned terminal in time to leap onto the empty train with 90 seconds to spare. So where do you have to... I suppose this is what happens when you... Like, do you have to show the fucking... Because I thought you were in Europe. Those would have been pre-Brexit or something. I don't know. Because again, like, I can't go anywhere that's not like the big fucking lump I live in without having a passport. And to me, that makes sense because all the other places that are close are like, you know, largely super not Australia, with the exception of New Zealand. But like, you know, everything else is like, oh yeah, if I'm going to fucking Indonesia, I probably need the piece of paper that says what I am. Have you ever been naked where you shouldn't be? Not fully naked, but the fire alarm went off at my girlfriend's apartment one night, and I got to meet the other residents while wearing a small woman's dressing gown. Huh. Have you ever bet on a race? I only bet on politics against other gamblers because they're generally bad at it. You could still get a 5% return on Biden beating Trump until 2 weeks after he definitely won. Threw a chunk of my savings at it for a better return than a bank, and the chance to take money from idiots. Ever been photographed by a Japanese tourist? My worst ever job was running a photo booth in a nightclub. Jesus! Occasionally, drunk students would make me get in it with them, and an Asian girl was definitely among them. I charged extra and pocketed the difference. I think that's close enough to count. You know what? Yeah. Ever microwaved your undies? Yes. British dryers don't do shit, so everything comes out mildly damp. If you're in a rush, the microwave does just get enough to get them wearable, but only while I was a disorganized 20-year-old. Huh.
Interesting.
It's from Will. Have you ever demonstrated surprising strength? I suppose people who only interact with me during my nerdy pursuits are surprised when I do outdoorsy grunt work stuff like moving entire trees or shoving big-ass rocks around. Okay? I'm glad that there's no further fucking explanation of that.
Yeah.
I'm assuming he's like a landscaper, but also he could just go walking around the Scottish Highlands pushing trees over.
That's what I envisioned.
Yeah.
He's he delivers menhirs.
Who ordered the men here? The what?
It's here now.
Men here with men here. Have you ever been naked where you shouldn't be? I've come home drunk and got naked to sleep in my own room and left the door open. So while I was technically where I should have been, I was exposed to the hallway where I was not. Have you ever been on a race? I have been on the Kentucky Derby a couple of times with friends. Have you ever been photographed by Japanese tourists? At the national park I worked at pre-COVID, I had this Japanese couple want to take a picture with me in front of the park sign. I guess to add authenticity, or perhaps the sight of a pasty white boy in one of those big straw park ranger hats amused them. It amuses me, and I'm not even looking at it. Have you ever put your underwear in the microwave? No, I have not. This is from Ed. Hi, Aaron and Gabe. Please do not use my name or email. Just call me Joey Jojo Jr. All right. Love the show. New videos are always a highlight of my day. I have both a Japanese tourist story and a horse betting story. The Japanese tourists, you know what? I did not expect any. I did not expect this much from that. But
I know, right?
For the Japanese tourists, I was at a con in the UK, and in the waning years of weebism, I don't think it's waned. I think if anything, it's gotten worse. I was cosplaying as Liquid Snake, complete with a beautiful blonde wig for his mullet. So I was there on the last day, waiting to get a vending machine when I think was a family, mum, dad, son, daughter, came over and asked for a photo. I was really touched. The costume had taken a lot of work, and they seemed legitimately impressed. Although they seemed jokingly sad that the luscious golden hair was not my own.
Aww.
Yeah. As someone who does have luscious golden hair when he grows it out, I like people are amazed by it. They'll just come over and touch it. As for horse betting, one night coming home drunk in a taxi, I got talking to the driver. He looked like the guy who was supposed to have invented the mobile disco in Shaun of the Dead. Anyway, he seemed okay-ish as taxi drivers go. We talked sports and betting. He said he has a horse, a guarantee for Saturday's lunchtime race. I was still fairly drunk but curious, so I thought I'd give it a go. I couldn't believe it. The horse actually came in. I ended up making £70. That was the last time I put money on the horses, as I knew my luck wouldn't hold without an inside tip from a mysterious taxi driver. Keep up the good work and stay safe.
You too, bud.
From Mortis. Have you ever displayed above average strength? Yes, one time many years ago. My mum asked for me to help around the farm we were trying to set up. Okay. Assuming you're Amish.
We have to build a barn, English.
They did that thing where they moved the whole barn, but he did it by himself.
Dude, we were on TikTok earlier, and we saw 200 Amish men moving a barn, and I've never seen that.
Yeah, they're like people ants.
It is insane, yeah.
There was a large tree stump that needed to be moved, but she just wanted me to dig most of it out from under the dirt so as to make it easier for her husband at the time
She just wanted you to dig the stump.
Yeah. I'm about 6 feet tall, technically 5 feet 11 inches because of those hip surgeries, but whatever.
What?
Then you're not 6 feet.
Yeah.
All I heard was I'm not 6 feet tall. And while I've worked out here and there, I could never truly say that I've been buff, and my mother has always been stubborn. Case in point, since her husband was out running errands and would be back for a few hours, he was out with the tractor. I love how rural this is getting.
Yeah.
She wanted to see if she and I could both move the stump by ourselves. From what little I do know about trying to get rid of stumps, it's not easy.
No.
Like, they make explosives for that. Neither of us were confident of our combined strength, as she and I are both crippled in different ways. That and this stump was huge. I can't adequately describe how big it was, other than to say it stood as high as my waist and was very wide. Plus, it wasn't hollow or rotted. If you saw this thing and me standing next to it, you would no doubt think to yourself, there's no way that fat bastard is moving that stump. I go in and managed to lift the thing with my bare hands. It was still heavy, but nowhere slightly as heavy as it looked. Once I moved it to where my mum wanted it, I went back to my trailer. There's a bits of just extra plot, just
There's
being
so
snuck
much.
in here.
I'm I'm in the cinematic universe of Will. Or
And spent the rest of my day on Cloud 9. Now, since that was only one question, I had a story for this time. I wanted to make a shortest message to Aaron in regards to the bit of the Wonder Pants video you guys where you expressed frustration that he wasn't getting as much love as Gabe.
Yay!
Wow,
Validate me!
This goes on for a long time, so I hope you're ready.
What about me?
I couldn't help but feel it was directed at me. If it was, I just wanted to apologize for the last message I sent you before this one hurt you in any way or made you upset.
Wait, what?
Gay.
I don't remember.
As I said before, I was a fan of Gabe for a long time before I ever found your channel, and 100% meant no disrespect towards you. Once I found your channel, I started off as a moderate fan.
That's so funny.
What really made me appreciate you as a streamer was when you revealed you had major problem with your spine and that it affected your ability to hold down a job, live comfortably, eat, poop, and made you feel inadequate. I was born with Asperger's syndrome, contracted a hip disease, and have a deformity in my left eye that causes the cornea to go thin. I feel like a freak. But hearing that you have a wife and a child and make money doing silly videos on the internet, it really gives me hope that someday someone will love me for the same way and that I'll have a job where I can feel proud and happy doing. You really inspire me, Aaron. Especially the way you're a huge giant gay and that I'm a big gay balls too. Before I wrap, I may have slightly.
I think you may have ad-libbed that.
Editorialized. Two things. In the event that Gabe decided to call me a gay-tard, all right.
He called you.
Yeah, fair enough. I just wanted to point out that I'm not the one who French kissed Aaron for money. Well, we didn't French kiss.
No, we didn't French. Yeah. Otherwise, we would have had a lot more money. But yeah, no, thank you. I appreciate that. No, I was just being a silly little bitch. Like, but yeah, no, I appreciate that. Thank you. That's very kind.
All right. I'm getting close then. I want to get all these done so that we're done. All right, hang on. This is the follow-up to the Rasputin teacher, so we'll save that one for another time. Hello, I am Gangalagalax.
Oh, it's gang. Just call him gang.
Okay. First off, I would like to hear Gabe's go at pronouncing my dumb internet handle.
Oh, well.
All right.
There you go.
You can refer to my dumb internet handle, gang, or my equally dumb Gmail address. I'm just gonna call you nut meat. Have you ever demonstrated surprising strength? I am a bit of an odd unit regarding strength. At the time of this specific story I want to tell, I was 124 kilograms and 188 centimeters, presumably still am, tall. My brother and his wife had brought a pre-owned and very curiously designed coffee table. They had attempted to retrieve it themselves, but were unable to even lift it, even in unison. My brother then enlisted one of our mutual male friends and me to come help. We were sure that the three of us would be able to get the table down from the third floor, that would be the fourth floor in Australian. Turns out we could not. We simply could not coordinate well enough in order to get the stupid thing down the steps. Side note, this is my personal demon cabinet. With no luck, I decided that I wouldn't accept the fact that the three of us were unable to do this. I then put in my earbuds, put on my favorite heavy metal type song, Bruce Dickinson, King and Crimson, if you care, picked up the table on my own and carried the fucker all the way down to the parking lot and the 200 meters to my brother's car. He made big eyes and ended up paying for my dinner that night. Have you ever wound up naked where you shouldn't be? Yes. During a birthday party, yes, all right. Held by a friend, all right. At a nightclub, yes. I did about 22 shots in a row. Okay.
Woo!
About 28% by volume each, but still. Like, okay, so the thing about, like, shots is, like, you can't, like, the speed of intake is a big factor. Because there's this thing called Beer 101 where you do 101 shots of beer, but you do one a minute.
Right.
And it's not a lot of beer. It's literally, it's a shot's 30 fucking mils, right? But it fucking overloads you. Yeah. And you wind up fucking munted. I think fucking Jimmy Kimmel actually tried to do it on the internet once. And it's just like, yeah, you don't realize, oh, I'm fucked. Oh yeah, okay. So that's 20 shots in a row is not, that's bad. I blacked out. I woke up the following day in the apartment of a friend with whom I had a prior agreement to crash. Well, that's good at least. At least I didn't wake up in an alley. I woke up on his couch, saw he was sitting across from me looking at his laptop. Realizing I had made my way home safely, I finally realized I was completely naked as the polyester military blanket he had laid out for me was sliding off. I groggily grabbed it and asked in a thin voice, "Hey dude, have you seen my clothes?" I eventually found my clothing, except for my underwear. I borrowed a pair of his underwear, tracked my presumed steps back to the nightclub in order to see if I could find out what happened. As a heavy drinker, you don't need to go back for the undies. Whatever state they're in, you don't need them.
You do not want to open that font of knowledge.
Just go to the Kmart, grab another fucking 3-pack. You know, you're fine. I eventually I even called everyone I knew from the night before. You see my undies?
Hello? Underwear?
You got some undies in there? No? Fucking, a feral rag that I probably threw out? Yeah, sure. Eventually, I had to give up, and to this day, I have no idea what happened to my underwear that night.
You ate them.
They wound up on the floor of a nightclub, and someone picked them up and went, "Oh, what the fuck?" and then put them in the bin.
No, you ate them. Yeah,
you ate them. Have you ever put your underwear in the microwave? Yes, before I ate them.
God damn it.
Yes, specifically because I saw it on the show. I only recently discovered memories of watching this show on Danish television.
Jesus!
As a friend to whom I had mentioned the podcast told me how he remembered the events of a specific later episode. About the underpants.
Danish TV, that's wild.
It is weird, yeah. About the underpants, I have no idea why I did it. I was simply a strange child.
Well, you wanted powers, obviously.
Yeah. You're just Danish. Combine that with being greatly impressionable, I would attempt all sorts of things that I was given to understand would give me magic powers, especially super strength. Bonus info. I would also regularly rip off my shirt, put on cutoff jeans, and pretend to be the Hulk.
That's awesome.
Hell yeah.
That's fucking awesome.
There's some backup questions as well. We'll call it there, though, because this is already
going
going long. Yeah, and I'm trying to get through these. Yeah, that's it. We've actually cleared the backlog, though.
Oh, wow. Good. Good work. Good work.
Yeah, it's a good job, champs.
Good work, everyone. Good team effort.
I got to have a nice hard laugh at some other people's expense.
Oh, it was good. It was still some good laughs today. It was some good stories. Enjoyed it immensely. So we have been the Twist Boys. This has been Lucky Lips, and our questions have been placed to you. Have you ever felt like this? You can find us on the internet at keepitclassy.com. You can find me on Twitter at KECAaron. Gabriel, where can we find you on Twitter?
I'm at Gabriel on Guard, and the email for the answers is ihavefeltlikethis@yahoo.com.
Not YahooSerious.com. I'm still trying to get the domain, but they keep denying me. We'll see you next time.